In my next pile of books, I have Good Wives and Warriors, Escape to Christmas Past. I tried watercolor pencils and colored pencils. They work both very well in these books. I have Escape to Wonderland, also Good Wives and Warriors, also colored pencils and or watercolor pencils, and here in the sky I used oil pastels. Then Escape to Shakespeare's World, the same colored pencils, watercolor pencils. And Exotischer Urwald, which means exotic jungle. This is a second-hand book, and this double-page spread I colored with Inktense in the background and colored pencils in the flowers and gel pens to cover the outlines. Then also from this German publisher, I have Karibische Welten, which means Caribbean Worlds, by Pom Chan. And it's also a second-hand book, and I colored this mermaid. And everything else was colored by the previous owner. Then I have a lot of French books. This is a color by number, Mystère Fantasy. Mystery fantasy, you could translate this, and yeah, these are the pictures that you can color. And I wanted this book because of Ciri from The Witcher. But I'm very disappointed about this book because the fields, the areas and the numbers are so tiny and makes it so different to color. I tried with colored pencils and covered it with metallic watercolor, and here I tried with water-based markers and fine liners, and both was tragic. I can't explain. Christophe Alexis Perret, Japon, which means Japan. All pictures from Japan or Asian style, and also a second-hand book. Then I have Sorcières, which means sorcerers. Also Christophe Alexis Perret. All witches and magic and yeah, different styles. And different media. I tried colored pencil and water-based markers and wax crayons, watercolor crayons. The next one is Caroline Island, Animaux de la Forêt, which means animals from the forest. Also colored pencils and watercolor pencils and some watercolor crayons. Then Diane Dufour Boule de Poil, fur balls. I love this book, and it's one of the books that I like to finish someday. And I tried colored pencils, watercolor crayons, and yeah, all works fine for me. Not the best, but fine. On some pages I tried watercolor too, children's watercolor, and tried to color on top with colored pencils, and I don't recommend this because children's watercolor is very dusty, and when you color over with colored pencils, it can happen that you rub off the paint, and if you have bad luck, it could be that you smear this dust over your picture. Also, Diane Dufour, Sirènes du Monde, which means mermaids of the world, colored only one picture. Then I have Lulu Mayo, A Million Owls, Find Feathered Friends to Color. I'm a very big fan of owls, and that's because I had to have this book. But I don't like the paper. It's very difficult for me to find the right pencils, and I noticed that watercolor pencils work the best for me, but sometimes they are not so vibrant on this paper. A million de créatures magiques, which means a million magical creatures. I have the French version because this version was half the price than normal, and it was new only because it's the French version. I don't know why, but in France these books are sold much more cheaper. More French books. Mademoiselle à chassant son chat, which means I don't know the detailed translation, but it's obviously that it means something with cats. And Sorcière, again, sorceress, Aurélie Castex. I like these images. The illustrations are so funny. All witches and Halloweeny. Yeah, I colored this double page, and in September I plan to color more in this book. Then Alice Mary Cullen, Magical City, a very special style. Very YouTubers use Inktense in this book, and Inktense in this book are not for me. I find them very different. I tried colored pencils and water-based markers and some other watercolor pencils, and I don't know. Kanoko Igusa, a very, very beautiful book, and I'm very afraid to destroy these beautiful images, so I have only colored one picture. Kerby Rosanes Imagemorphia, also one of the books I like to finish someday. And I've started this book to pick an image that I like and colored it, and then as I decided to finish it completely, I went back to the front and started from there and make the decision to work from front to back. And yeah, because it's one of the books that I like to finish, I color every month in this book, or want to color every month. Yeah, I like to color with water-based markers, and I like to cover the outlines with metallic gel pens. Melpomene Chatsipana Kyoto, Circle of Life, also a very beautiful book that I like to finish someday, and I like to color with water-based markers. Also in this book, I tried colored pencils, and they work fine for me, but water-based markers are easy to handle in this book, at least for me, and the colors are vibrant. I doesn't have to go over with colored pencils for shading. I only use felt tip pens, and that's it. Chris Garver, Animal Odyssey. I like the images. Chris Garver is a tattoo artist. I like the images, but I don't like that you have to color big areas. So for me, it's always different to choose which medium because of the large areas. Because I don't have the patience to color a picture only with pencils, mostly. I did, but I don't like it. And the color with the pig is terrible. You haven't seen this. Another French book from Hachette, Disney Nature. Disney pictures, different Disney pictures, Disney scenes. Very high quality paper, and yeah, here I tried colored pencils and water-based markers and all different media in one picture. All works fine. One book I have forgotten, and it's Millie Marotta, Fantastische Wildnis, what means I think the English book is titled Wild Savannah. I have only colored one double page and started this picture and finished it in August, so you can see this illustration colored in my August video. And now I say thanks for watching. Thanks that you are still here. I'm very happy that you were interested to see my coloring book collection. I have more coloring books that I don't show because I haven't colored in them yet. I buy books when I like them and when I see them for a price I like. But if I have various books from one artist, I try to concentrate first of one book before I go to another book from this illustrator, because it's typical for me that I'm all in for a new hobby and then I discover something new and want to try and buy many different things to experiment, try out, and find my own way to do the things. So it could be, I don't hope that this will happen, but it could be that I lose interest in coloring and start a new hobby, and then because of space, you perhaps have to sell books, and it's of course easier to sell the books when they are uncolored. So I try to concentrate of a book that I already started, and I don't know if I can color the rest of my life because I have a chronic illness that affects my hands and my finger joints. So I don't know if I can color as long as I want. But I usually took one book from the stack of the uncolored books every month to start if it isn't a book from an illustrator that I already started. And that's because I have this 10 books to concentrate and to color every month, so that someday at least a few books are totally colored. Yeah, I think we see us in the next video, which will be my recap, my coloring recap of August. Wish you a happy day and see you next time.